Now, in this tier list, we'll be ranking Manchester United's most expensive transfers, and we're ranking them S, A, B, C, and D, with S obviously being the best and C being the worst. You can let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you want me to do this for your club, and we'll definitely be doing that in the future. So don't forget, leave a like, comment, and let's get into it. So starting off first, now this is not in price order. These are just the 10 most expensive transfers. We'll talk about the price and that involved, obviously. So number one is Rasmus Højlund. Now he cost United 79 million euros. Straight away, I'm putting him in B. If you're looking at Rasmus Højlund at Manchester United, obviously boyhood Manchester United fan, coming for a lot of money only a couple seasons ago. The only trophy he won at the club was obviously the FA Cup. Listen, I like Rasmus Højlund. I think he had the right attitude, the right mindset. Just couldn't really deliver on a United shirt. He had opportunities. He's someone that was obviously brought in under Ten Hag. Didn't really transition into Ruben Amorim. Player that massively struggled with sort of confidence. I think the first season, what was it? He got 16 goals, I believe. The second season was just poor. And now he's on loan at Napoli. Or that deal's been made permanent. I think at the time it was very good business from United. However, if you looked and you did a bit of research, he didn't actually score that many goals, so that could potentially be a red flag. But in terms of United signing Skull, he's not the worst signing out of the lot, in my opinion. But yeah, wasn't great either. Benjamin Sesko now, I have to put Benjamin Sesko in B tier. The reason why, he cost more than Højlund. He's had one season at the club. I think he very well could go into S or A tier with a couple of more good seasons. I think the first season, as I said, was promising. He put in a lot of good performances, scored some big goals. The West Ham, the Crystal Palace, the Fulham game, I remember in particular, he was brilliant in those games. Obviously, took time to settle in. Still a very, very good player, and hopefully now his first season was great. He can have a better season. Like Højlund had one good season, got to here, and then kind of went there. You need Sesko to go up, and I think he definitely can do that. I think he's a really good player, but yeah, not quite Højlund yet, but we'll see what he can do next season. Paul Pogba. Listen, Paul Pogba was my favourite United player at the time. The first ever player I got on the back of a United shirt. I think a ridiculous football player. If you're looking at his tenure at United, United signed him for £89 million. Our most expensive transfer of all time. And if you're looking at that, you paid €105 million, £89 million. He delivered an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup and a Europa League. It's not good enough in my opinion. Yes, it's not single-handedly on Paul Pogba to deliver the trophies. I think if you're looking at his time at United, obviously with a lot of players, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, probably would say more downs than ups. Falling out with the managers, the whole Mourinho stuff, then how it kind of fizzled out and become toxic towards the end. All the stuff in the media about Souness and all that sort of things. I was excited when Pogba came back to United. I thought this was a chance for him to sort of excel. And yeah, listen, you don't have the trophy cabinet of a Modric, a Kroos, or those sort of level of players, but I do think quality-wise, he definitely is up there. I think a fantastic football player, can really do everything: carry the ball, win the ball, passing's unbelievable. Again, the goals, big goals. So yeah, for me, it's not quite A, but I mean, I can't rank Højlund and Pogba. Actually, no, I can, because Pogba didn't deliver what we needed him to do. Now, Harry Maguire, I have to put him in A. I really do like Harry Maguire. I think he's a player who, again, so many ups, so many downs at the club. A lot of people, and a couple of seasons ago, I was calling for Harry Maguire to leave the club. I think his time was done, but he found that new vein of form. He obviously wanted to continue his time at United, so you have to give him credit for that. I think there is a player in Harry Maguire, and he's going to be proven, and he's proving people wrong. I think he's going to be a big part of Michael Carrick's team going forward. You've seen that already with all the games that he started. And yeah, I think his experience is going to be key. I think I signed his goal at the time, it was a bad deal. The only reason why it was so high, obviously players don't get to determine the price, but it was due to obviously the Van Dijk. Was it the summer before or January, going for a lot of money? So yeah, I get why the price was there, but yeah, I think he's had good moments and he deserves to go in A tier. The fact that he stayed true to United, the performances he's put in, he's a captain, he's a leader. Yeah, I really do like Harry Maguire, and I think he's going to have another big season. Maybe get a few big goals as well. Di Maria goes straight in C. What an absolute rat. Di Maria, one season at the club, scored I think 4 goals in 32 games. The only memorable thing I remember, like his most iconic moment in terms of associating himself with United, was when Ashley Young shoulder barged him and he crashed into the railing. Like, that was the only moment I remember Obviously, the chip against Leicester, but yeah, for 75 million euros, didn't really live up to the expectations. And yeah, just wasn't a great signing. Jadon Sancho, you can go and see as well. One of the worst signings I think United have made of recent. I think if there was an F tier, I'd put him in there. I think Sancho, listen, the whole saga around Sancho was just bad. United chased him for like 3 years. Ultimately brought him in to play on the right hand side, but then played on the left and Rashford moved to the right. It was a very confusing time to be a Manchester United fan. Then he had the whole situation under Ten Hag, he was kind of frozen out. And then he's obviously been on multiple loans. It'd be interesting to see what Sancho does with his career, because there's always been attitude problems. I think it's just good to not see him play for Manchester United anymore. And again, hope for his sake, there's a club that, you know, spends some money on him. But yeah, I think he's a very, very poor player. And yeah, I mean, he's won trophies, but what part does he have to play in them? I think at United he's on 350 grand a week, wasn't really committed, didn't really look bothered. You know, for United to do all that work to get that sort of player, just a very, very poor signing. Lukaku, listen, I can't put Lukaku in C, so just based off that, I have to put him in B. I think if you're looking at Lukaku and you're looking at his time at United, obviously, didn't win a trophy at the club. I believe it was only one season he was there, scored a few goals. I don't think that was his best transfer. I think the best one was when he went to Inter and he actually won a few trophies. Very good goal scorer. I honestly think he's underrated. You look at all the goals he scored at top clubs, you have to give him a lot of credit for that. But yeah, I think he's in B. Antony's in C. Listen, Antony, that signing again, I think is worse than Sancho. 95 million euros on a 22-year-old. He scored 12 goals in 96 games. His most memorable moment was probably the goal that he scored against Barcelona. It was just a very, very poor signing. It's a signing that United needed to make. You needed a right winger, but it was just like Sancho 2.0. He come in for a lot of money, had a few good games, then went out on loan, phased out of the team. You know, was on a lot of wages, and yeah, he just didn't really deliver at the club at all. And people thought when obviously Ten Hag signed him, he was going to be a player that he knew, he was going to develop him, he was going to be the next right winger at the club. You know, he was young, he was still coming through, but again, just did not materialise, did not turn into the player that every United fan thought he would become. So you have to put him in C. Now these two, I'm actually going to put Mbeumo in S. The reason why I put Mbeumo in S is because of the whole deal. He cost £71 million. However, you look at sort of the fees that some wingers are going for and some players are going for. Morgan Rogers, 117 million. Yes, you can argue if Mbeumo's better than Rogers, but I don't think there's that much of a difference between them. You've seen players like Barcola being mentioned for 120 million. You've seen Diamande go for 100. You've seen last summer, I think it was Alanga went for 60. Madueke went for 60. Like, Mbeumo for 70 million is very, very good business. He had a very good season for Manchester United. Scored some big goals, 2 goals against Spurs, a goal at the Emirates, a goal at Anfield, a goal against City. Very, very big moments. And yes, towards the end, he struggled. However, I think it's a very, very good signing from United. And it's crazy that he is ranked that high. But yeah, very good bit of business from a Premier League club to get that sort of business in. Very good. Same sort of ideas with Cunha. Cunha struggled at the start, but towards the middle and the end is where we saw the best of Cunha. Very, very good signing. Very good bit of business. I think United actually paid 20 million across like 3 years for Matheus Cunha. Obviously the total deal being around 62 million pounds. But yeah, very good bit of business. Again, same point, Madueke, like the ridiculous fees that wingers are being quoted. I think Cunha is very good business, and you're looking at the age he's coming in at. So yeah, they're in my top 10 players that Manchester United have signed. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.